Their love story captivated millions. The defiant priestess and the powerful mage, bound by fate, magic, and an undeniable connection. On screen, Jang Uk and Mu-Doek's journey was epic, heartbreaking, and ultimately unforgettable. But what if the magic didn't end when the cameras stopped rolling? What if the two individuals who embodied these beloved characters, two brilliant, complex souls, found a love just as profound, and perhaps even more real, behind the scenes? This isn't just about a successful drama. This is about an intense bond that refused to be confined by the script. The origin of this legend, of course, is the set of the drama. For months, the actors spent virtually every waking hour side by side. Initially, their interactions were professional, polite, reserved, and focused on mastering the intricate world of their fictional roles. Yet, the long, grueling schedule, the shared complexity of their characters, and the sheer intensity of the story they were telling created a unique pressure cooker. As they moved past the first few weeks, the formality began to melt away, revealing a fascinating and instant dynamic. We start to see them in their own orbit. In a crowded room full of cast and crew, Jang Uk and Mu-Doek consistently found each other. They were constantly chatting, sharing inside jokes that went over everyone else's heads, or simply existing in a comfortable, quiet proximity. What began as professional collaboration quickly evolved into the easy familiarity of old friends, a bond that felt unnaturally accelerated. This wasn't merely chemistry. It was the spontaneous combustion of two people recognizing a kindred spirit. A truly profound connection often reveals itself not in grand gestures, but in the small, unconscious acts of care. These quiet moments became the bedrock of the fandom's belief. There are countless clips documented by the crew and fans alike. Mu-Doek, without looking up from her phone, would instinctively reach out and adjust the collar on Jang Uk's costume, which he would allow without comment, lost in thought. Or, in a freezing cold outdoor set, Jang Uk would simply shrug off his coat and drape it over Mu-Doek's shoulders before his manager could even get to her. These actions weren't written into the script. They were instinctive. Consider the subtle but powerful act of physical guidance. In one highly analyzed clip taken backstage, as they were navigating a particularly crowded area, Jang Uk is seen placing his hand gently on Mu-Doek's lower back for a fleeting second, guiding her through the throng. It was an action of protection, of nonverbal shorthand, and Mu-Deok accepted the touch without breaking stride. These movements speak volumes about the level of trust they shared, the deep comfort they found in each other's space, and the instinct to protect one another that transcended their roles. Who do you let into your personal space so casually? Who do you trust to have your back without a single word? The answer is someone with whom you have formed an extraordinary bond. The production was legendary for its difficulty. The long nights, the high-flying wire work, and the sheer emotional weight of Jang Uk and Mu-Deok's destiny took a toll. And it was in this crucible of intense labor that their bond solidified into something unbreakable. We see footage after emotionally draining scenes, the death of a mentor, a critical turning point, where the actors are visibly affected. In one instance, after Mu-Deok delivered a devastating monologue, she dissolved into quiet tears. It wasn't the director or a staff member who rushed to her side. It was Jang Uk. He approached, gave her his full attention, and simply placed a hand on her arm, a gesture of silent, unyielding support until she composed herself. This became their pattern. Shared strength. When Jang Uk was battling fatigue and struggling with a complicated piece of action choreography, Mu-Deok was often the one cheering him on from the side, bringing him water, or simply sitting near him during the break. They became each other's anchor, finding safety and release in their mutual presence. They were allies not just on screen, but in the trenches of a demanding industry, forming an intimacy born of shared sacrifice and profound mutual respect. Then came the success. With global fame came the inevitable professional distance. As their individual careers skyrocketed, their public interactions became rare, then almost non-existent. This sudden, forced silence, often mandated by agency management seeking to avoid unnecessary controversy or protect their separate images, was agonizing for the millions who had witnessed their chemistry. For a long time, this professional separation was the biggest point of doubt. Was it all just brilliant acting, easily discarded once the job was done? Yet, for the faithful, the evidence was too overwhelming to be erased by distance. Fans meticulously cataloged their indirect interactions, the subtle, complimentary messages they posted, the coincidental similarities in their clothing or accessories at separate public events. These became the breadcrumbs, a silent, coded conversation that confirmed to believers that the connection, though hidden, was enduring. The theory wasn't that they had forgotten each other. It was that the bond was so profound it had to be protected by silence. You don't simply erase someone who fundamentally changed the direction of your life and art. But sometimes, love refuses to stay hidden. The years of speculation finally reached a climax at a recent high-profile charity gala. In a crowd of celebrities and camera flashes, a moment of profound, undeniable intimacy was captured by a single, lucky lens. Jang Uk and Mu-Doek were standing a little apart from the rest of the cast, deep in private conversation. Mu-Doek reached out, her hand resting momentarily on his chest, before moving up to gently adjust the knot of his tie. It was a domestic gesture, one born of sheer, unguarded habit. Jang Uk's response was the key. He looked down at her, not with the practiced smile of a celebrity, but with an expression of such soft, genuine tenderness, a look that said, "I am home." For a fleeting second, his hand instinctively covered hers, a silent acknowledgement of their private world, before they both subtly glanced around and returned to their professional composure. It was a tiny gesture, a secret shared between two people, but for millions, it confirmed everything. That wasn't an act. That was real. Jang Uk and Mu-Doek's journey, one born of shared passion, mutual support, and undeniable chemistry, is a testament to an even deeper truth. Whether they confirm it with words or continue to tell their story through quiet glances and shared smiles, the Alchemy of Hearts continues. The magic wasn't confined to the fantasy world. It truly bloomed behind the scenes.